Hey guys, welcome back to another live. Today I'm here with Aaliyah once again. So, Aaliyah, before we get started with the Model UN questions, I would ask that you introduce yourself again to the people that didn't watch the other one.
Oh, okay. My name is Aaliyah Craig.
So, has anything interesting happened in your life since you last did the other interview?
Not really, no.
Oh, okay. Well, um, how long have you been in Model UN?
Um, for 2 years.
Why didn't you do it in sixth grade?
Cause in sixth grade, I didn't really know that our school had a lot of different extracurricular things. I didn't even know about Model UN until being in a class with Caitlin. She introduced it to me. I didn't even know Model UN was a thing in sixth grade.
Can you explain Model UN for the people that don't know what it is?
Model UN is basically like Model United Nations. So you pose as someone that is like a country leader that is in the United Nations, and you have a conference like the United Nations do, and it's basically like you get resolutions and things to like bring peace upon all countries. The United Nations is basically to holds conferences to prevent war with countries, and that's kind of what you do with Model UN.
What countries have you represented in Model UN?
In sixth and seventh grade, I represented Guyana and Honduras, and then this year I only did it for the second conference, and I represented USA.
Why didn't you do the first conference?
Um, I actually don't know why I didn't do it. I was kind of I think for the first conference, I was kind of figuring out if I still wanted to even do Model UN, because last year was kind of like I didn't really have a lot of speaking time, so it was kind of should I waste my time making these speeches? I was kind of realizing, but then after seeing my friends have a fun time at it, I was like, okay, I'll do the second one.
Did you get more speaking time, with being in USA, which is like a bigger country than the other countries that you got before?
Yeah, almost every country, every resolution, not president, every Power Five country, they got a lot of speaking time. So I was kind of up there for every resolution, but our speeches it was they were okay, but we couldn't answer all three of the POIs that we got, so that kind of set us back a little bit, and it was kind of and so yeah. But we got a lot of speaking time, but after those POIs, not being able to answer it, he kind of realized hey, maybe I shouldn't call them anymore. So we didn't get to talk for two resolutions.
What body were you in for each of the countries that you represented?
All three of the countries that I represented, I was GA. This year, I was gonna do small body, but after seeing that USA was one of the countries, I was like, maybe I want to go for uh GA again.
Who worked with you in GA in all of the countries?
Um, in the first country in Honduras, I had Kenny, and then in Guyana, I had Kylie, and then this year with USA, I had William.
Did he finally show up to the conference? Because he never showed up.
Surprisingly, the thing was 2 days before the conference, he literally got sick. He was sick at the conference. I kept having to
Bro, no,
leave
there's
to
actually
go to the bathroom and get him tissues.
he actually has problems, bro. Because literally in sixth grade, he was partners with Kylie in Zimbabwe, GA, and he couldn't go to the thing because he was sick. In seventh grade, he was my partner in Pakistan, GA, and he didn't go to the thing because he was sick. Bro.
I literally had to force him. I was like, "Bro, you have to come. You better not pretend to be sick." And I was like, you can't leave me in USA by myself. You just cannot do that." And he was like, "Okay," because at first he didn't want to be in USA. He was like, "I don't really want to have a big country," because for USAGA, I was the only one that tried out for it, and then Caitlin tried out for the small body for it. She got it, but I don't know. I think Mr. Turner forgot that I tried out, so he kind of just gave it to Kenny and William because he was just like, "Do you guys want it?" And then they were like, "Yeah," but William was like, he was kind of like he didn't want it, and so I begged Kenny. I was like, "Kenny, please, can I have it?" And he was like, "Yeah," and I kind of regret doing that.
We have some people in the chat, so hey Gavin, hey Anthony, hey Elijah, and hey Braylon, aka Bam Bam.
Who are these people? Oh, hey, Braylon.
They're people from my school.
Hmm.
Uh, Shay, aka the Vander, says curious.
That could be actually that could be Shay, Kenny, or Gianna.
Yeah, I think it's Shay though, because I sent the link to Shay. Braylon says hey.
Braylon.
So is there like, oh, it's Kenny.
Yes.
Is why did you regret having a GA for USA after?
because oh, because like since the USA is a like Power Five country, it was kind of like more with me being like backup countries. The past two conferences before that, it was kind of like this is like a really big change, and then having to make sure that your speeches are really A1, and then that was my first time ever even having POIs. I was kind of like, I don't know how to solve a POI. And like, it was kind of bad because since we both didn't know what to say on POIs, like when we were walking back to our seats, like there were kids literally saying, like, bro, they dodged all the POIs. Like they're so slow, they dodged all the POIs. And it was just, it kind of just felt like a little embarrassing. And it's like I think there's just more. I didn't expect for it to be that much with the USA. I don't know, for some reason I expected it to be like a little less, but with it being so much, it was just kind of not that good.
Have you ever had to write an emergency resolution?
Yeah, we did for USA.
What was the topic?
It was something about like it was about like in like the next like 6 years, if it was like a Y12 or something like that. It was like some type of explosion the from the from outer space to come and hit and like basically destroy Earth. And it was like, do we fund NASA with it? Like, are y'all funding NASA or like any of the other programs that are in other countries to help like protect the Earth if that does happen?
We have a question here from the chat from Bam Bam. She says, "Wait, have you ever stuttered or messed up real bad?"
Stuttering, no. Like surprisingly, well, like last year, it was kind of I kind of did rush when I read, but like this year, it wasn't even that bad. I kind of just didn't look at the audience as I read, and like it was since I wrote the speeches, like not saying that I didn't write them last time, but this time reading it and like having somebody there to really practice it with me, like William, it was very helpful being with William because he was kind of like, okay, if you can't do this part, then I can do it, and then you can do the other part, and that kind of helped a lot. So like the stuttering wasn't a problem, but like we did mess up with the POIs. That was so bad.
Yeah. Because sometimes they like ask a question that you're not ready for, so you just don't know what to say.
Yeah, and he got it was super embarrassing because we had asked like, "Can you repeat the question?" Because I kind of was scared, so I zoned out, and then he kind of said like, "Okay, if there's nothing wrong with the mic, you can't ask to repeat a question," and it was just like, bro.
Yeah, I got mad when he said that, and especially like last year, whenever there was like, you remember the twins? I don't know if they're still in Model UN this
No.
year. Yeah,
Yeah,
so they asked a two-part question, and then the chair was like, "Go back to your seat. You can't ask a two-part question, even though literally you could."
yeah, and it made me so angry because some kids from our school were trying to give us POIs, and on our so like since you can only have three POIs at a time, on our third, so the first two POIs we were like, we can't answer right now, because he was like, okay, time's up, y'all need to say an answer. So we were like, we can't answer right now, and then on the third one, I messed up because I had to answer it, and there was this girl from J Macon that was in my my committee for the USA states or whatever. she had kind of got mad at me whenever we broke off into the caucus, and so she was plotting on me bad. So then when she finally was able to give us a POI. She was like something like about the resolution, and I was like, we didn't put that in our speech. Meanwhile, the whole speech was about that resolution. The whole entire speech was about, like, she was like, because like the resolution, I didn't like the resolution name. She was like, so what are you doing to like for this and that, like about to counter hate speech, and the resolution was about hate speech. It was, and I just said we don't have any of that in our speech. It was it was so embarrassing.
Did we manage to get any awards this year?
Um, not no. Everybody got their own things though.
Not even like a participation thing or anything?
Yeah, we got participation things. USA, we got an award for going, and then we got an award for the cultural dress.
Did you ever dress formally? I mean, not formally. Have you ever dressed traditionally for one of your countries, or have you always dressed formally?
I've always just dressed formally, but this time we got it traditionally because Caitlin was in a suit, and so they were like, and she had like USA earrings, and then we all had like a USA pin thing. So they're like, they called Caitlin up, and they're like, "Are you in traditional wear?" And she was like, "I guess so." And they were like, "Okay," and then they just gave it to all of us. So
Okay, that does not count. If you have a USA pin, that does not count as traditional
yeah,
wear.
because we were literally like William. He just had on a dress shirt and like some pants, and then I had like on like a, I don't even know, like I just had on heels with some pants and a shirt, and then Caitlin, she had like a suit jacket and then a skirt, but she had on USA earrings, USA like a USA necklace and like stuff like that on. And then we had Mr. Turner had bought all of us like a USA flag pin to put on our clothes, so we all had that. And then they were just like, "Are you in USA like attire?" And she was like, "Yeah." And then they just gave it to us. I'm like, "Oh wow."
I mean, what would even be like a traditional wear for the USA?
I searched it up. It was basically cowboy wear.
Um,
And I said I'm not doing that. So I literally said I'm not doing that. So I
Kenny
just
asked, is there Model UN in my school? No, there's not Model UN, unfortunately, but I wish there was because I like Model UN.
yeah, Model UN is really fun. And I'm excited for Model UN next year in high school.
How do you feel whenever you have to write a speech and the country's opinion isn't the same as yours?
Um, hmm. Well, I don't really think about like if the country's opinion is the same as mine because most of the time it's kind of just like being able to at least find information for that resolution. So it's like if I can find anything, I'll honestly just take it at that point because some countries is really really hard to find information on them.
Yeah, I had, I only did it in seventh grade. I didn't do it in sixth grade, but for the first conference in seventh grade, I had Pakistan, which is like a relatively big country in Asia, so it's easy to find information. But for the second one, I couldn't go to the conference because I actually had to do stuff like in my personal life. So it was kind of difficult because I had Chad and there was like no information on that country because it's like a small country in Africa.
Yeah, we had Pakistan and Palestine this year, and I feel like the Pakistan got so much big time, and I feel like it was because they were traditionally dressed. If it wasn't for that, I genuinely feel like they wouldn't have gotten any speaking time.
Yeah, I was traditionally dressed, but they didn't call on me when I was in Pakistan.
You just had on the headpiece. They
That
had on like the actual like it was Emma and Joe, and they had on like the actual like dress clothing. Like they had the jewelry, they had everything. You just had on the head and on the
okay,
hat
but
thing.
still, that's more traditional than wearing a USA pin. You gotta agree with that. It's true.
Okay, I got a lot of pictures taken. They're on the Glenn County page. I got a lot of pictures taken. And it was like most of the pictures were during the POIs when I was literally shaking in my boots. Or we would just sit. We would like we were sitting in the back because they made all the Power Five countries sit together. We were kind of just sitting in the back, and the man would just come up there and he would just take pictures of us the whole time. I'm like, oh,
What are the Power Five countries?
um, USA, the United Kingdom, Russia. I don't know the other two actually. Yeah.
In Kenya, I do not do band in my school.
Why is she spelling your name like that?
Yeah, it's literally on the screen like twice. It's on the at thing and then on the thing. So,
Kenny, why are you spelling like that?
what colleges have you traveled to for conferences?
Uh, we went to Georgia Southern. I went there once, and then I don't know. I think the one that was in Savannah was like Hampton something, maybe. I think we went there
Which
twice.
one's better?
The one in Statesboro.
Yeah, I've never been to the Savannah one, but the Statesboro one, bro, it's so cool.
You didn't go to the second conference in seventh grade?
No.
Oh, because it was okay. So like the Savannah one, it's not bad. It's scary as freak because, bro, it's glass everywhere. So like the steps are literally glass, and like there's nothing like there's only a rail. So like going up and down the stairs, it was like very scary. And then the elevator, like whenever somebody would use the elevator would literally just like make clinking sounds, and it was
No.
just like, bro. But like I rather took the elevator than the steps because the steps scared me because like it was like one step is like that, and then the other goes like that way, but then there's like a big old like um glass, like it's just glass right there, so you could see as you're going up the steps like what floor you're on, and you can see outside, and it was way too scary. And the first in seventh grade, when we went to the Savannah conference, I feel like everybody did not like it because at the one that's in Statesboro, there was like it was a Chick-fil-A and a Starbucks and all that. But
Yeah,
in
and then
seventh
there was
grade,
like the big food thing with like a
yeah,
bunch of cool food.
yeah. But when we went to the one that was in Savannah in seventh grade, they didn't have all that, or that we didn't know. All they had was like the little stand that was like that sold milkshakes and stuff like that. So everybody was kind of mad, and like they had the store, but the store it only took like credit cards or debit cards, one of those.
Yeah, you can't
But
enter the in the Statesboro one. You can't enter the store if you don't have a credit card.
yeah, but then we had found out like that there actually was, or this conference we found out that there actually was a Chick-fil-A and a Starbucks. It was just like deep into the back of the school. So like um there was like the cafeteria, and then beside it was like the station that you could buy milkshakes and like coffees and all that. And then if you go down a little bit more, there's the bathrooms. But if you keep going past the bathrooms and turn to the left and go all the way down, you'll find a room that's kind of sketchy. But then you have to go past the room, like go inside the room and go out, and there's like a big old food court with like a Chick-fil-A, and then you go in another room that's in the Chick-fil-A room, and you can go to the Starbucks room. But like that was just, I feel like once somebody figured out that there was a Chick-fil-A, everybody found out that there was a Chick-fil-A, so everybody was low key like leaving, and it kind of made the conference go back a little bit because that was right after lunch, so everybody wasn't back in the like in the room, in the ballroom where we're supposed to have the conference. Not everybody was back there yet, so it was kind of like we had to hold up a little bit, and then they ran out of everything at the Chick-fil-A.
Wait, how did they even find out all of that just to get to the Chick-fil-A?
I don't know. There was like low key like it was kind of the Jay Macon kids like because before we got out for lunch, there was some kids coming in with like Starbucks and Chick-fil-A, and I guess they were asking around. And then when we went to the bathroom, we saw kids that had were coming back from around that way, and they had Chick-fil-A, and we were like, "Oh, where do you guys get Chick-fil-A from?" And they're like, "Oh, it's all the way back down there." And so I had went back and I had told Kylie, and then I told Kylie like, come with me," and she's like, "Okay." And so we went, and then it was just kind of, it was very scary. It was really scary. But then it wasn't that bad, but they just didn't have a lot of stuff. Really, they kind of sold out.
Kenny says here, USA, UK, Russia, France, and China are the Power Five.
Hmm. There wasn't a China at this conference.
How?
There wasn't a China.
Like there was nobody with the country China.
Mm-mm.
That's weird.
And France. I don't. Yeah, there was France because I think um Annie and Harshini were no. France was given to like. Oh, there was. Oh, I was not paying attention because they put freaking USA and the United Kingdom in the back, and I was sitting by all the adults, and it was just so scary. And then I was sitting down, and then there was just like this one lady that tapped me, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, your hair is so pretty. You guys are gonna do so well." And then I looked at William. I was like, "William, do you know her?" And he was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Who is that?" He wouldn't tell me. He was gatekeeping so hard, and I was just
Wait,
completely.
that's probably his mom.
He said that it wasn't, but his parents were very, very nice. Like we had once we got back from like the POIs, we were just sitting there and like low key we were just depressed the whole time, and like I was like low key on the verge of tears, and then he was sick. He was like, "Can you go get me some tissues?" And I was like, "Sure." So I went and I got up and I went all the way downstairs to go get him tissues, and then I came back. And his dad came up to me. He's like, do you want something to drink or a snack?" And I said, "Sure." And they were really nice the whole time. And I remember
Yeah,
last
I've
week they
never met
bought me.
his dad, but his mom, like that's why I said it might be his mom, because his mom like goes to all the Model UN things.
Yeah, they were really sweet though, because I remember at the conference in seventh grade, they bought like some kids stuff that couldn't buy anything at the store. They're really nice.
What has been the most difficult resolution to write?
Um, the emergency resolution because it was kind of in the middle because like when we looked up like websites on it, it was kind of people were saying like oh this is not real, this is not happening, and then some people were like, oh yeah, this is real, this is happening, and it was kind of hard to figure out like what side the USA was on. So we kind of just like we're like ugh. So we had asked Mr. Turner, and he was just like, okay, well you can use like how much it's gonna cost to do all this as like a way, because he was like, search up how much like the US helps other countries. And so that was kind of like our leading point, and it was just kind of like we disagreed with it. It was kind of mostly our own opinion because
Yeah.
since it hasn't happened yet, and it wasn't like actually like no one, like not even NASA was sure that it was going to happen. It was kind of just like we just got to go off what we want to go off of.
Yeah, sometimes like when you can't find like an actual source, you just have to like make it up using the facts that you know.
Yeah, it was like it said that like the USA was like one of the most like leading things um to like give money to other states for things that they wanted. So we were kind of just using that. We're like, okay, well, we already give you a lot of money. We can't give you money on with stuff that costs so much when we still need help with our economy, and we're not even sure that this is going to happen for real.
Yeah. What was your favorite country to represent?
Guyana. That was that. Yeah, that was my favorite, Guyana.
What was the most difficult one to represent? I think it's USA, but
Yeah, it was USA, but it was really fun. It made me and William become friends because even though we both did Model UN with like at the same times, we never talked before. So like finally being able to make friends with him and realize that he's not even as mean as I thought he would be, it was kind of nice.
yeah, William's not mean. William's like one of the nicest people in Model UN.
I thought he didn't like because every time that I would come around, he would kind of just like stop talking, and I'm like, does he not like me? And then for me to finally get the country USA, there was like a lot of stuff that had to happen with it, and it was just like, okay, he definitely hates me now, but like he wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I think he just acted like that because like I feel like he just doesn't like talking to people he doesn't know.
Yeah, but after the conference, we kind of became friends, and like on the Model UN party, it was kind of really fun. We played games together. It was not that bad. And on the bus, he actually wanted to go over our speeches, and I was like, "Oh well, that's like the first time that has ever happened." And I was like, maybe he doesn't hate me because for me to get the country of USA, I had to go through so many people. It was just so bad.
Yeah, I remember whenever I had William as a partner for Pakistan and um he couldn't show up to the meeting, I had to hack him. Like I had to ask. So since him and Alex are twin, I asked Alex what his birthday was, and I already had his PIN number. So I entered his account, acted like I was him, and I had to share all the information to me, because he didn't share like the resolutions to me yet.
Oh, we had it was our resolutions. It was so because William, I can't lie, William, he kind of sucks at writing speeches. It was he was like he started one of the speeches off with, "Okay, so guys, this is." I'm like, William, you can't do that. And it was kind of okay. So when we did USA, he was like, okay, USA is gonna have to go to one of the eighth graders because it's like a bigger country and we never had it before, so we kind of want somebody with experience. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna try for USA, and then I think I tried out for Pakistan, small body, and then I was like, okay, so I did it, and he didn't choose me. He chose Kenny and William. Well, I was begging Kenny to do it. Like, Kenny, please, please, please. Kenny finally told Mr. Turner, he was like, okay, so Aaliyah can have it, and I'll just take Turkmenistan. So I was in it with William. I didn't know that. I forgot her name, to be honest. She was in like France last year, maybe like Caitlin or Russia.
Lydia,
No, Lydia's not there anymore. It was the other one.
wait, Camille,
Camille. Yeah, Camille. So I didn't know that Camille was in it because Camille, she only had the flex class. She didn't go after school. And so I was kind of confused. So I had split list one day and I had just went, like, I finished my work early. So I went down to ask him. I was like, so, like, I don't really know what speeches I'm supposed to do because me and William, we don't talk at all. And then, like, he's like, Camille's apparently in our country. I'm like, what do I do? So he called Camille over and he sat there and he was like, so there's three people in USA right now and we kind of need to make it turn into two. And I was like, oh, okay. And then he was like telling her how like he kind of needs eighth graders to be it more than seventh graders. And he was just like saying reasons why she like asking like who would want to do small body for this other country because we had like that spot open. And she was like, I can't do it because last year when I had it, they kind of bullied me the whole time. I'm like, girl, they just because they called on you last because you had the last country, that makes sense. You had your country was the last
yeah.
country, so obviously they're gonna call on you last. She's like, I don't like it because they called on me last, and then they were just so mean and rude to me. How is the chair mean and rude to you? They don't even talk. They only call you up for your country. That's it. And so she was just like, I can't do it, and she started crying. And he's like, we kind of sat in silence for like a few like for like 2 minutes, and then he was just like, I have to give it to my eighth graders. So you can have first pick next year, and if you do more, you win. So she had a country. When the conference came around, she didn't come. She was mad. She did not come. But like after he told us that, like he was like, since there's a little bit of time left in this class, do you guys want to come? Like, do you guys want to stay in here? And I was like, sure. So I went and I got a chair and or a computer, and I went and I sat at the table with USA and I don't know what other country. It was like with Alex, his country. So I sit over there with them, and I was like, okay, I was talking, and then she comes over there, and she's like, bro, he just gave away my country. I'm just sitting there like, and then she's just like, um, now I have to redo all my speeches. She only had half of one speech done. And then she was like, she's like, he got mad because I don't come to the after school meetings. That wasn't even it. I said that I had half of the speeches done and then that I come to the after school meetings. So obviously he was gonna choose me over you if you barely have anything done. And then she was just throwing shade the whole time, getting mad over there. She was just like, bro, I don't have it. And like William was kind of staring at me weirdly. So I felt like he low key got mad at me because I took her spot. But then like at the next meeting after school, he wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. I thought it would be.
Why did Lydia leave?
Lydia, she got accepted to the private school this year, so she left. She was going to leave last year. Well, last year she was talking about how she was probably going to do it, but she wasn't sure. And so she had asked her parents, and they did it. And I guess she got accepted into it this year.
Yeah, Harshini got accepted into it, but she never went.
A whole bunch of kids in our school in our grade now are gonna go to the private school next year on the island or whatever that school is called. I forgot, but
What was your least favorite resolution to present?
um, um I think like the one that's kind of about women's rights,
Why?
because we always get that one. Literally, like that's always a resolution at almost every conference, and it's kind of like every speech for that one is always kind of the same. It's like if we don't have one that's about healthcare, then it's about one that's like human, like women and girls' rights. And not saying I'm not for that. It's just we always get that resolution. Like I kind of wish they would switch it up a little bit.
Are you in any other clubs other than Model UN?
No, but I have some clubs I want to do next year.
What are they?
The Social Justice Club, and I want to do Blue Crew.
What?
The Social Justice Club and Blue Crew.
What are those?
The Social Justice Club is basically where you learn about uh, black political figures, and you kind of just like it's like a thing where you kind of it's mostly showcased in February because it's Black History Month. So whenever they have like their show, it's like the mayor comes, he speaks, and then like they do the Social Justice Club. They kind of do like a little performance, and then that was also I don't know if it was this year or last year, but they had a play, and it was
Oh
like
yeah.
the Escape. That was basically the Social Justice Club as well, and during the summer they get to do free trips to Washington D.C. and the states that like come before it from Georgia, and it kind of just looks very fun, and I want to do it.
But you're gonna stay in Model UN, right, during high school?
It kind of just depends. Like I'm gonna see because if it's a lot of kids in there, I'm not. I yeah no because the thing is this year and like the years before is kind of been like okay 11 year olds to like 14 year olds. That's not terrible. But then in high school it'll be from 14 year olds to 18 year olds. That's kind of like if you mess up then you're just cooked, like you just suck like bad, and that's kind of I don't want to mess up in front of other kids that are older than me that'll judge me. And then like it's overnight model UN, and I feel like that would make me even more anxious than just like going and coming back the same day. I feel like overnight is like gonna be very like a lot more scarier. I feel like, but I'm thinking about it. I'm not sure yet.
What do you think that are the skills that are needed for Model UN?
You have to have good public speaking skills and speech writing skills, and then you also have to have very very good research skills because most of the time people in Moduling quit or crash out because they cannot find information. I feel like information for at least smaller countries is super super hard, so like they kind of give up. And then I think that people should try to do more things than AI because I feel like everybody literally just uses AI to write their speeches,
I've
and
never done that,
it's kind of just like you
but I've never. Yeah.
kind of okay. So in seventh grade, the only reason I used AI is because when I first joined, freaking Auden was like, "Oh, just use AI, like just use Grammarly."
Auden?
Yes, he was literally like, "Just use Grammarly to write it. Like Grammarly can literally just write it for you." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I did it, and I was like, But I changed it up because I was like, I don't know if Mr. Turner thinks that I'm that smart. So I had switched up some words before I asked him to review it.
Yeah, I don't like the people that were using AI because like literally you're supposed to like give your best effort on it. Like not I'm not saying it was like to you, but not saying that to you, but still like the other people.
Well, I don't really care that I use AI, to be honest. I know that it wasn't like I shouldn't have did it. I feel like I know that it was just kind of I was kind of doing what other people were saying to do because I mean it was my first year, so I was kind of just like trying to take advice from other people, and it was just yeah, yeah.
Um, what would you say to someone that wants to join Model UN?
Wait, huh?
What would you say to someone that wants to join Model UN?
Uh, be nice to Mr. Turner, please. Please be nice to Mr. Turner, and don't talk over him because he's very sweet, and I feel like everybody takes him for granted.
Yeah. But yeah, guys, that was the end of the live. So, Aaliyah, thanks for being here. And thanks for the people that were watching because you guys left a lot of things in the chat. So, yeah, thank you for watching.
I was
And
me and Braylon messing around in the chat the whole time.
yeah, but there was like three other people, but it's okay. Because, yeah, thanks for watching, guys. And thanks for being here, Aaliyah. And I'll try to have a live next week. So, thanks.
With me right.
With you?
Yeah,
You want to do it live again?
yeah.
I don't know what it would be about, though.
Um, can you see this?
Yeah. Well, that's basically it. So, thanks you guys for watching again. And yeah, bye, guys.
Bye.